Hey there, Alan Matthews here from Classical Guitar Shed. And in this video, we're going to be talking about motivation and how to be motivated in every moment of your practice, how to show up and love practicing your instrument, because there's nothing more good feeling than really just wanting to practice, wanting to pick up our guitar, being excited for the next piece we're playing or whatever it is that we're working on, where we just can't wait to get our hands on the instrument. And whenever we have this feeling, then practice is easy. We want to practice. We want to pick up the guitar. Other things are less important. It's a hunger at this point. We're highly motivated to do it. The problem with this is that motivation is fickle. It can go away if we're hungry or if we have something else that we would really like to do, like look at new closet organizers on Pinterest or something really fun like that. There's a million different things that can get in the way of motivation. So motivation is a fleeting feeling. And so we can't really rely on that on a day-to-day basis as a prerequisite for picking up the guitar. If we do, then we'll pick up the guitar for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and then our motivation will wane because it's constantly going up and down like this, and then we'll put it away. And then a year later, we'll pick it back up and say, oh, I should have been practicing this whole year. So the thing to know is motivation is a feeling. It's very fickle. It's very fleeting. So then what do we do instead? Well, instead, we form a habit of practicing. So instead of having to rely on a feeling to do it first, then we let that feeling be a side benefit of just picking up our guitar every day and practicing, and over time we get excited about things because we're seeing improvement, and that's exciting and that's motivating. So motivation is a bonus that comes from being in the habit of playing on an ongoing basis. We can have a temporary motivation, but as far as ongoing, like next year and the year after that and the year after that, to stay motivated, we have to have the habit as well. And so how do we create the habit? Well, there are a couple of things to remember with that. First off is 100% is easy and 99% is hard. So if you have to ask yourself, do I want to practice now? Then that's hard, because that's a decision that gets in the way of actually picking up the guitar. Instead, a much better way, a much easier way is to say, this is when I practice. I practice before bed on Thursdays and Tuesdays, or whatever it happens to be. Or I practice right after school, or I practice in the morning. Whenever it is, then we know when it is, and then it's just a matter of doing it. It becomes a discipline. Another thing that will make your habits really much easier is to make a low bar of success. So practice equals picking up the guitar and playing one note or one chord or whatever it happens to be. And so that equals a practice. That means I've been successful for the day, because it's disheartening and demotivating to feel like you're a failure because you said, I'm going to make this 2-hour practice session every day, and if I only get in an hour and a half, then I'm a failure. Well, that's going to demotivate you, and it's not going to be very fun. Instead, very low bar to success. What is it? It's, I want to sight read one note. I see a D on a page and I play a D. I want to play one scale, I want to play one chord, whatever it is that you set for yourself, depending on what you're working on, but make it small. Make it 3 minutes or less. Really small, so that way you can feel good about it. You show up the next day and the next day and the next day, and pretty soon you just can't put the thing down. So to go back and review this whole thing, motivation is awesome. It's great, it feels good, but we can't rely on it because it's fleeting, and a little bit of hunger or distraction can zap it. Instead, we just want to form a habit of doing it. And so planning a little bit ahead, making things easy for ourselves, and making a low bar to success so that we can feel like we've gotten the win every single day and then show up tomorrow. And over time, what do you know? We're playing beautifully. Right, thanks so much. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and I look forward to seeing you in the future.